You didn't have to be a culinary genius to have heard of Anthony Bourdain. The renowned chef was known for his vision, ingenuity, and obviously cooking skills. But in 2018, Anthony Bourdain's demise shocked people all around the world. Now, texts provide a candid look into his mental state. Keep on watching to learn his last words. To begin with, an unauthorized book is breaking headlines. Previously unseen text messages between the late Anthony Bourdain and his lover, actress Asia Argento, are revealed in a new book. In his latest book, Down and Out in Paradise: The Life of Anthony Bourdain, author Charles Learson exposes the devastating texts. The book boasts itself as a groundbreaking, open, thoroughly researched, and undoubtedly uncredited biography of celebrity chef and TV personality Anthony Bourdain. The author's sources are based on in-depth interviews with people who knew him best. His well-documented ascent to fame, from a Vassar College dropout to a gourmet sensation who traveled 250 days a year, is included in the unofficial biography. The intimate details from Bourdain's final days in France, primarily gleaned from messages and emails on his phone and laptop, set Down and Out in Paradise apart from the few other publications that attempt to tell his narrative. The death of Anthony Bourdain in June 2018 horrified people all around the world. With an alluring personality, a wonderful profession, a lovely family, and global renown, Bourdain appeared to have it all. But the truth was more unnerving than it appeared. The book, released on October 11th, has already begun a ripple of controversies and backlash. But are we being skeptics, or is there truth to his words? Next, the heartbreaking messages hours before Bourdain's death. The 61-year-old travel host committed in June of 2018, while filming an episode of his show Parts Unknown with his close friend and French chef Eric Rippert in Kaysersberg, France. The release of the CNN's show's Hong Kong episode, which was directed by Bourdain's girlfriend Asia Argento, it was reported that he was ecstatic in the weeks before his passing, according to a report at the time in People. But as is revealed in an exclusive passage, Bourdain and the Italian actress had a turbulent relationship while he was still married to his divorced wife, Ottavia Buccia, at the time of his passing. In September 2018, Argento claimed that the two had cheated on one another. It wasn't an issue for them, is what she had declared. The messages illustrate that they appeared to be fighting all the time. She spoke of his excessive possessiveness and had to remind him that her kids came first, work came second, and he came third. But one of his biggest concerns was that one day he would trail her guy or men of the moment and finish fourth or fifth. He made an effort to convey to her in private conversations that he wasn't just feeling envious. Rather, he was worried that she would ruin their chances of sharing their lives by dating outsiders. He says in messages that she's free, but was still reckless. He explains to her that her callousness had broken his heart irreparably. But as two adults in a consensual and illicit relationship, these words didn't impact Asia as much. Don't go anywhere because there's more news to unpack. And the spiraling events that led up to the argument. Tony and Argento had a massive fight on June 5th, according to a mystery Twitter account named @JusticeForTony. That has since been deleted, but is believed to have belonged to a member of the ZPZ team. Tony had to leave the set several times during the filming of his show to make phone calls to Asia. On Wednesday, when she reportedly told him she no longer wanted to be with him, things became worse. He was so upset that everyone kept an eye on him all day and night. But over the next few days, he seemed to have recollected his emotions and wanted everyone to lay off of him. He might have been feeling better because the night before his death, his friend had a great day. With the cameras running, he and Rippert had a great time at JY's, a 2 Michelin star restaurant in the adjacent town of Colmar. When Tony and Rippert experienced the owner and chef's high-toned rendition of Alsatian cooking, memories of their earlier encounter with the chef came flooding back in waves. Despite his rocky days, Rippert took comfort in knowing his friend went to bed soundly. But the following day, Tony and Argento would exchange their now infamous texts. His his surfing history revealed that for the last 3 days, he had searched for Asia Argento on Google several hundred times. Sadly, those text exchanges would be his last. Next, how has Asia responded to the release of her messages? In an Instagram story on Thursday, Asia Argento appeared to address the unofficial Anthony Bourdain memoir, which contained the couple's final communications. Argento, 47, shared a photo of herself wearing a t-shirt with the words, "Stop busting my balls," over the image of professional bodybuilder Ronnie Coleman. The night before her late lover passed away, she wrote him the same message as the book reveals. In the conversation, which is detailed on the first page of the biography, Bourdain asked Argento what he could do for her. Argento replied, "Stop busting my balls." She has since revealed that she had asked the author not to publish her intimate conversations that he was privy to. Next, the vicious backlash Argento faced in the wake of Bourdain's death. After receiving criticism following Bourdain's passing in 2018, the actress spoke to Daily Mail TV 3 months later. She was repeatedly blamed for his death. She cried in the interview and stated that the public was insistent on their views. She questioned why people reduced Bourdain's existence and value to their relationship. They both were engaged in illicit relations and didn't have a problem with it. According to her, he spent 265 days on the road every year. When they did see each other, they thoroughly enjoyed each other's company. But despite these statements, public opinion hasn't swayed. However, Down and Out in Paradise forced us to acknowledge that Anthony had many demons in his head, and the book reveals his struggles with addictions and self-consciousness. An impressionistic depiction of a complex individual with deep insecurity, neediness, and image consciousness develops alongside swagger and spiky coolness. Anthony was a man who was prone to overdoing things and addicted to being busy, even at the expense of his happiness, according to the author. The performative side of Bourdain's personality is repeatedly brought up in the unvarnished biography. His efforts to remain authentic were scrutinized by himself mercilessly. The book follows Bourdain's life from his early years in Leona, New Jersey, to his leaving college, dishwashing in Cape Cod, and years working as a chef in Manhattan when he developed a punk rock character and developed a heroin addiction. He claimed that his portrayal of Bourdain, flaws and all, serves as a corrective to many adoring profiles. The dejected texts written by Bourdain in the days before his passing are the book's most somber section. According to Learson, he was engaging in an unhealthy long-distance relationship with actor Asia Argento and was also using Viagra, human growth hormone, and steroids. But Learson went above and beyond to write from a fresh and in-depth point of view. Biographers make every effort to put themselves in the subject's shoes. By spending the night in the same French hotel room as Anthony Bourdain, Charles Learson went one step further, gaining a unique perspective and criticism. A portion of Learson's thorough research for the book that came out last week, which includes 80 interviews and materials from Bourdain's laptop, journals, and final texts, was seeing that the chef, writer, and TV host saw on his last day of existence in 2018. Charles was interested in how the man with the best job in the world, who appeared to be so cool and intelligent in certain aspects, and who was sophisticated, could decide to terminate things. According to Learson's reporting, Bourdain had become more obnoxious over the past 2 years. By June 2018, Tony had no one left in his life to fulfill the position of person who plans your funeral, due to his practice of pushing people away or letting long-term connections lapse. In other news, and criticisms have already begun pouring in. Learson depends on numerous private sources because she was unable to conduct in-depth interviews with many members of Bourdain's inner circle. Argento has denied any involvement with the book. However, it is a very thorough expose that includes information on everything from the posters he had hanging up in his dorm room to his favorite gin brand. Bourdain's estranged brother, Christopher, has branded the book nasty and defamatory fabrication, but Learson labeled him unreliable and said no one else has come forward to criticize his work. In a response, Simon & Schuster defended the book, claiming that it is an honest and thorough biography that is based on in-depth interviews with people who knew him well. We are committed to our upcoming publication. The book is undoubtedly going to break headlines and resurface hordes of memories for those closest to Bourdain. As for the audience, they should be ready for the good and bad that Bourdain will now be remembered for. And that concludes Bourdain's story for now. What are your thoughts on the explosive messages that have come to light? Comment below and let us know how Anthony's stories impacted you.